All right, you've probably been there. That one spot in the office, always freezing. Or maybe, a corner at home that just never seems to get warm.
Yeah, that drafty spot.
Exactly. And what's the first thing you think of? Grabbing that personal space heater.
The quick fix, right?
Seems like the simplest thing in the world. Plug it in, get warm. But what looks like this innocent little appliance, it's actually got some surprising layers. Complexity, risk.
It absolutely does. And that's really our mission today in this deep dive. We want to unpack not just when and where you're actually allowed to use these portable heaters,
Right.
but maybe more importantly, the very real risks involved and this whole web of regulations that surrounds them. It's definitely more than just, flicking a switch for comfort.
And to kind of give you that shortcut, that quick understanding, we've really dug into a whole bunch of sources.
Yeah, quite a few.
We're talking internal hospital policies, specific guidelines right from the manufacturers, even actual lease agreements, and then the big safety standards from organizations like the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, and the Joint Commission, plus state rules too.
It's a wide net.
It is. So, by the end of this, you should really get why this thing that seems so simple is actually tangled up in safety protocols, prohibitions. It's complex. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So when we started looking at the sources, this core question popped up almost immediately. Like, can I just bring in Grandpa's ancient, fire-breathing dragon heater?
Yeah, the really old ones.
Or is it totally banned?
Yeah.
That really set our main goal here. Clarify when and where these things actually get the green light.
And that question, it really zeroes in on the big picture. It's not just about, am I cold?
Right.
It's about serious risks. Things like overloading electrical circuits, which is a huge one.
We'll get to that.
And also what the property owners themselves require. Or maybe the facility managers. They often have very specific rules. It's way more than just personal preference.
Okay, so let's kick things off with that Northside hospital policy. That was kind of our baseline source for a lot of this.
A good starting point.
Its purpose is pretty clear. Safe use of portable space heaters. And the scope, it covers the entire Northside system, hospitals, surgery centers, even their off-site places.
Right, comprehensive.
And it lays down some pretty strict rules. For instance, absolutely not permitted in any smoke compartment with sleeping rooms or patient treatment areas.
Okay, that seems logical.
Yeah, but here's a detail that might catch you, nurses' stations. They count as patient treatment areas for this rule.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Also, the heating elements inside the heater can't get hotter than 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 100 Celsius.
A specific temperature limit?
Yep. And they're only allowed in non-sleeping staff or employee areas. So break rooms, maybe some offices.
Gotcha. Not where patients are.
Definitely not. And forget those really old-style heaters, the ones with the glowing exposed wire.
Oh, yeah, those look scary.
Total no-go. Plus, any heater they do allow has to have a tip-over protection switch.
Essential safety feature.
Absolutely. And maybe, most importantly, whoever's using it has to follow the manufacturer's safety guidelines.
And that last point is actually huge because those manufacturer recommendations, they often have critical warnings, really specific stuff that applies everywhere, no matter the policy.
Like what?
Well, take a common one, like that DREO 1500W Solaris heater you might see at Target. Costs about $75.
Okay.
Its manual has some real eye-openers. For example, keep anything combustible, paper, curtains, furniture, at least 3 feet away from the front.
3 feet. That's quite a bit.
It is. And also away from the sides and the back, too. People often underestimate the radiant heat. It can ignite things further away than you'd think.
Wow. Okay.
Another big one, the heater has hot parts inside, sometimes sparking parts. So you absolutely cannot use it where you've got gasoline, paint, flammable liquids stored or being used.
Makes sense. Garages, workshops.
Exactly. But here's the one I think is the biggest aha moment for most people listening.
Okay.
Never use it with an extension cord. Never. Or one of those power strips, they call them relocatable power taps sometimes.
Wait, really? No power strips. People use those all the time.
I know, but it's a major fire risk. These heaters draw a ton of power. You have to unplug it when you're not using it and always plug it directly into a proper wall outlet.
Directly into the wall. Okay.
And the manual is super clear. Any other use, anything not described in the manual, it could cause fire, electric shock, or injury. They don't mince words.
That extension cord thing is massive. Honestly, a game changer in how you think about using them.
It really is.
And that's just one detail. The manuals also have these general warnings like Most are for household use only.
Right, not necessarily designed for an office or hospital setting.
And that reminder again, hot and arcing or sparking parts inside. Plus, they warn specifically, do not partially or fully cover or obstruct the front.
Because it can overheat really fast if the airflow is blocked. Abnormal conditions, high temperatures, danger.
It really shows how seriously the manufacturers take the risks with these things.
They have to. Liability is huge, but also the danger is real.
Okay, so we've got hospital policies, manufacturer warnings. But what about the actual building, the place you're physically in?
Another layer.
Right. This brings us to property management requirements.
Yeah.
Often found in, you guessed it, the lease agreement.
The fine print.
Exactly. We looked at an RTG lease agreement, Section 7D. Flat out prohibits electric heaters unless property management specifically says okay in writing.
Wow. So you need explicit written permission, not just a verbal okay.
Written consent required.
And digging a bit deeper in that same agreement, Section 72A, Part 4, it basically limits how much electricity you can use to whatever the building's standard design load is.
Standard design load. What does that mean practically?
It means if you want to use more power than the building was originally wired for, like adding a bunch of high wattage heaters, you need the landlord's approval. And they might even want to meter your usage separately.
Huh. So connect the dots for us. What does this all mean together?
Well, it means even if your own company policy, like Northside's, might allow a heater in certain spots, if you're in a leased building, you still need that explicit okay from property management. And just adding heaters could easily push you over that electrical design limit.
Relating to?
Best case, breakers tripping all the time, disrupting everything. Worst case, you overload the circuits. Potential fire. It's a serious concern for building owners.
Okay, so multiple layers of rules just to plug in a heater.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how these layers, the facility policy, the manufacturer warnings, the lease agreement, they often echo broader industry standards. They reinforce each other.
How so?
Well, take the Joint Commission, which accredits hospitals. Their standard, LS.02.01.90, has very similar rules to Northside's. No portable space heaters in patient treatment or sleeping areas. It's consistent.
And you mentioned the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association.
Yes, the big one for fire safety codes.
Their life safety code, NFPA 101, chapters 18 and 19. We found that Northside's policy is actually based on this.
Makes sense, aligning with the national standard.
And NFPA 101 is very specific for healthcare buildings. It prohibits portable space heaters everywhere unless two conditions are met.
Okay, what are they?
1, they're used only in non-sleeping staff and employee areas.
Like the policy said.
Exactly. And 2, those heating elements don't go above 212 Fahrenheit, 100 Celsius.
Again, matching the internal policy. So the policy is really just implementing the code.
Pretty much, yeah. It's incredibly precise. We also glanced at Georgia State Regulation 123.3 for healthcare, which is usually Group I2.
Right, occupancy classification.
Yeah. It doesn't outright ban them, but it points right back to NFPA 101 and general electrical safety. So it all loops back.
And it's worth noting, these heaters are often banned outright in other types of buildings, too. Think Group A, like assembly halls, churches, theaters. Group E, educational, so schools. And various residential types like I1, I3, R1, R2, R4 places with vulnerable people or lots of residents.
So lots of places they're just not allowed, period.
Correct. They might be permitted in other places like regular business offices if NFPA 101 doesn't prohibit it for that specific occupancy type. And critically, if they meet all the safety requirements, listed device, used properly, etc.
Okay. This is a lot more complicated than just feeling cold.
It really is.
And beyond all these rules and warnings, the source has really hammered home one more critical risk, something purely physical.
The electricity itself.
Exactly. Electrical load consideration. This is where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit scary.
It's a major factor, often overlooked.
The basic issue is simple. When lots of people start plugging in portable heaters, it puts a huge strain on the building's existing electrical system.
Right. These things are power hogs. And the risks from that strain, they range.
From what to what?
Well, the best case scenario, if you can call it that, is just constantly tripped circuit breakers. Annoying, disruptive.
Yeah, lights go out, computers shut down.
Exactly. But the worst case, you could fry fuses, seriously overload the wiring, and that creates a very real potential fire hazard inside the walls. It's not just theoretical.
Okay, let's put some numbers on this. The sources gave some brain food, some math.
Good idea. Physics doesn't lie.
So A standard electrical outlet, say in a hospital or even many offices, is typically on a 20-amp circuit.
Correct. 20 amps is common for standard receptacles.
Okay. Now take that typical 1500-watt space heater. How much current does that draw on a normal 120-volt outlet?
All right, let's do the math. Power equals voltage times current. So current amps equals power watts divided by voltage volts. So 1500 watts divided by 120 volts. That comes out to 12.5 amps.
12.5 amps, just for one heater.
Just for one common space heater, yes. Now think about that 20-amp circuit.
That leaves only 7.5 amps for everything else on that same circuit.
Exactly. And what else might be on that circuit? Computers, monitors, task lighting, maybe medical equipment, depending on the area. It doesn't take much to push it over the edge.
So plugging in just one heater could potentially overload a circuit if other things are running.
Easily. Especially in older buildings where the wiring might not be as robust or circuits might already be heavily loaded. It's not just about the breaker tripping, it's about the heat buildup in the wiring itself. That's the fire risk, even if the heater seems fine.
And to really drive that point home, the sources had this image.
Oh, the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, the result of unsafe use of portable space heater.
Oh.
It showed, like, the plastic wall plate behind the heater has started melting.
Right, just from the intense heat radiating off the back of the unit, not even direct contact.
It makes that risk incredibly tangible, not just numbers, but actual damage.
Absolutely. It's a powerful visual reminder of why all these rules exist.
Okay, so pulling this all together, let's try to summarize the compliance picture.
Sounds good. So what we've seen is that portable space heaters, they're really heavily regulated for safety, pretty much everywhere.
Right.
The Northside policy we started with, it aligns very closely with the big standards, NFPA, the Joint Commission, and these apply across all their facilities. Now, for regular business use, maybe an off-site office, it might be less restrictive, but, and this is a big, but only if the building's lease agreement specifically allows it.
The lease is key in those settings.
Absolutely key. And regardless of where, any heater that is allowed needs to meet those strict standards.
Yeah.
The temperature limit, the tip-over switch, UL listing, proper wattage.
And no extension cords.
And definitely no extension cords or power strips. Always directly into the wall.
Wow. So what started as just wanting to be a bit warmer, it really unravels into this complex web of internal rules, physics, building codes, lease contracts, critical safety concerns.
It does. It's far from simple.
But hopefully, you listening now feel equipped with a lot more than just a yes or no answer. You understand the why behind it all.
And thinking about what next, the source material actually gave a clear recommendation.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
The advice was, consult engineering or life safety before bringing in a heater. Get their approval, let them check the electrical capacity first.
Proactive checking. Makes sense.
It really does. And maybe this leaves you with a final question to think about.
Okay.
Do you actually know the electrical capacity of your own workspace or even your home circuits? And who should you be talking to before you plug in any kind of high wattage device, not just a heater?
That is definitely something to think about before you just plug something in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Forethought prevents problems.
Well, that's some crucial insight. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.